Hi, I'm Steve Saylor. I'm blind, and if you're wondering how I'm able to play video games if I'm blind, if you take a look at the video here, you can be able to see exactly what I see when I'm playing video games. Welcome to Blind Impressions, the show where I take a look at a game for the very first time. I do a bit of gameplay, look at the settings, and then I give my accessibility first impressions of the game. Today I'm taking a look at Riot Games' new PC competitive game called Valorant, and I also have a very special guest joining me today. I recruited Andy Cortez from Kinda Funny Games. He's going to be showing me through a couple of matches on Valorant. So, without any further ado, let's jump into Valorant. Hey,
party.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, there he is.
Up, Steve.
There he is. Yeah, well, so I was telling chat, Steve, who is visually impaired and who has advocated for more accessibility in games, hit me up and said, Andy, I want to rate Valorant's accessibility settings, but I hate playing with randoms online because people are dicks. And I said, well, we're dicks as well, Steve, and we're gonna chew your ass out. So I was like, yeah, of course. You hop into the stream. We're gonna play with a bunch of people in chat that are cool and aren't gonna be dicks, and it's gonna be a good time. So yeah,
cool.
Ready to go.
I'm
Starting up this game, baby.
I see someone.
Here we go. We're here.
One thing I see someone.
I did the fire guy for a lot. Yeah,
Got one.
Good stuff, Steve. Good stuff.
First kill ever. Yeah. Woo! Oh, there's one over here.
One's coming, Jet's going.
Ooh,
ahead.
nice.
I did 60 damage.
So there's gonna be a guy.
Oh, there is. Yeah, there's one around down that hallway.
Right.
Oops. Flash. There we go.
Coming back
Standing
this way.
at the top of the ropes.
That was so cool.
Ah, damn it.
Last player standing.
They had good weapons.
Yeah,
And
they'll
then the
try
shields are
over
on the
there.
right. The shields are also important as well.
Oh, okay. Being a bit conservative with money for the moment.
Yeah.
I got you, bruv.
Would you believe this is the first time I've played like a PC game in a long time?
Drugs at the spot.
Ah, damn it.
Last player standing.
Sorry, I'm in your way.
Oh, no, they're shooting you. They
Oh.
can shoot through the walls.
Oh, well, that's awesome to hear. Got one.
Nice.
Last player standing.
Behind us.
Ah, damn it. That was my bad.
It's a learning process. It's a learning process.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to be able to get like at least the aiming and movement down, and then I'll sort of start to figure out like my abilities in that, because I think I remapped the controls for that, but I can't remember what I remapped them to.
Again, this is like CS, so like if you're moving, your accuracy goes down the toilet.
Right. Yeah, I'm used to like I play Destiny a lot, and that you basically are just moving constantly when you're shooting.
I see his ass. I see his
Yeah.
bitch ass.
There you go. There you go.
Ah.
10 seconds left.
10 seconds. He's on your
Oh,
left.
yeah.
Steve.
Push to run straight into your right, B. Steve.
Straight to my right.
There's one on his left too.
Ah, damn it. Yeah, I knew he was
Steve.
behind.
Steve, that wasn't me. You should have shot him.
No, he was. I got hit from behind, I think.
Yeah, it was both lasers.
Oh, it must have been the lag on my part then.
Yeah. No worries.
Because
That's
it
okay.
looked like you like ran right past him and just like ignored him. And I'm
Oh,
like,
that
that's
was
not me.
okay. I thought that. I thought that was Andy.
No, really?
Yeah. I was like, you were like right there. I'm okay. We got this. We got this whole area covered.
Joke's over. You're dead.
Down you
Got
go.
one.
Hookah. Coming from teleporter. Straight in front of you, Steve. Where's Spike?
Got another one.
One's in the base. Yeah, has a big sniper. He's right in the middle of the room.
I don't even know where Spike is.
If you guys can
Oh,
get
Spike
to
is
the
near
bomb,
Steve.
Yeah, if you guys get to the spike and then rotate to A.
Got the spike.
30
Yeah, got
seconds
it.
left.
So go back to A.
Yeah, you got 30 seconds, so take the quickest path. Andy, you can take teleporter.
Yeah.
Just watch the shot on the right.
That sniped me.
Yeah, they're both there. They're gonna follow you. Steve, when you get in the plant.
Yeah.
10
Hit the
seconds
number 4.
left.
Hit the number 4.
Hit number 4.
Spike planted.
One enemy remaining.
Good job.
Nice.
There we go.
Whew.
Yeah, see, when you plant, they have to come, so you guys got the advantage.
Whew. Not gonna lie, my adrenaline was pumping on that one.
Yeah, that gets the blood pumping right there, Steve.
Whew.
That gets the blood pumping, baby.
Okay, so accessibility in Valorant. Was there like any thought to accessibility like at all in this? Now, not to say that Riot Games doesn't have accessibility advocates internally that are trying to be able to push for more accessibility in their games. I'm not saying that. It just seems that at least the decisions that were made for this game were more from a competitive standpoint than necessarily removing some barriers for disabled players to be able to play and jump in without having to rely on a squad of friends to be able to, that are a little bit more patient with them, or if they're able to play from a competitive standpoint. Now, let's start off with the settings. There is no accessibility menu whatsoever in this. Now, not to say that that isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm more of a fan of an accessibility filter in games where you would see options in other menus such as video, gameplay, audio that would benefit disabled players, and then they're sort of filtered into an accessibility menu so at least disabled players can see what is available. But in Valorant, there is no accessibility menu. There are only 2 things I saw that actually would be beneficial for disabled players, one of which is full remapping of keys. For mobility players, this is great because you can be able to remap every control and every button press in this game to match whatever sort of setup and style that you're able to play. And the only other accessibility option I saw was you can change the color of the enemies based on your colorblind needs, and you can sort of see and change the reticle color and contrast. That's generally about it. I will say this, the 2 groups of disabled players that are going to have the hardest time playing this are blind, visually impaired players and deaf and hard of hearing players. There's so much reliance on visuals and sound in this that this would be extremely difficult without sighted assistance or a squad up or friends to be able to kind of help in any way, shape, or form. Let's start with the visual aspect. The UI is kind of all over the place. There is large text, there is small text, there is some contrast, there is no contrast. The only things that sort of stand out from a visual standpoint are the player models. So the enemies and your squad, you can be able to see generally okay, separated from the environment. However, there were many times that myself, I even shot at was someone that I thought was an enemy, but in reality was someone on my squad. And that actually can remove some competitive advantage because the other players on the other squad, on another team, can be able to hear when you shoot. And so they may know exactly where you are at that point. Another aspect that is really hard for visually impaired players is the map. The mini map is atrocious. I can't see really anything or understand anything of what's going on in the mini map whatsoever. The only thing that was beneficial to me was the text that was underneath the mini map that told me where I was, and I relied more on that than anything in the map whatsoever. And as far as deaf and hard of hearing players, oh my gosh, there's so much reliance on sound. There are many times where I would be like, a squad would try to be able to be quiet as possible because you can hear footsteps and you can be able to hear gunshots in different parts of the map.
They're rotating into that middle right spot, the ropes.
Because you're reliant on sound a lot, there's no visual representation of sound whatsoever, other than say a rare sort of like gunshot that's coming near you. Another problem that deaf and hard of hearing players will have would be in regards to team communications. There's no speech to text. The game defaults to voice chat. There is a text chat available, but there is no setting to be able to adjust it whatsoever. There is a ping system, but it is really primitive in comparison to say something like Apex Legends, and it actually relies more on sound than the visual aspect of it.
Enemy spotted.
When team communications is essential, when you're trying to come up with the best strategy to be able to attack the enemy, it is going to be really difficult for deaf and hard of hearing players to be able to communicate effectively and efficiently as best as possible within this game. In conclusion, as far as my recommendation for this game, I don't recommend picking up this game at all. It is free, so if you want to jump in, it really isn't going to cost you any money whatsoever to be able to jump in. And yes, again, this game is in beta, which means that there are many more options that could be added in. Fortnite was hard for disabled players to be able to play at first, but then over time they were able to add a lot of functionality into the game that made it a lot more accessible for disabled players. And I really do hope that Riot Games is able to add those functionality, because I would love to be able to see a lot more disabled players be able to get into the competitive space and actually be able to play at a competitive level. And I really do hope that there's someone from Riot Games is watching that can be able to see that there are disabled players that want to be able to play your games. But when you don't think about accessibility from the very beginning, it is going to be very hard to be able to bring in those disabled players. Whenever I don't see any accessibility options in the game, it just sort of makes me feel like that I'm left out from playing games with my friends. And that's really what it comes down to. So again, I can't recommend this game. I can't at its current state as of this recording. So who knows? Hopefully I can be able to come back in another future video and say, great, Valorant is finally accessible for those players, but I can't at this point. So that's it for me. Even though I can't recommend Valorant from an accessibility standpoint, I do want to give a huge shout out to Andy Cortez and a thank you to him for allowing me to be able to jump into his stream and play with his viewers, because honestly that was probably the enjoyable aspect of the game that I liked the most, because if I had jumped into random matchmaking, I probably would have been more frustrated with the game than I would have had been. So I want to thank Andy. If you want to be able to check him out, there will be links to him in the descriptions down below. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button, and if you have any comments about Valorant or the accessibility in Valorant, or if you have any questions about it, leave a comment down below. If you want to see when new videos come out, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you want to be notified as to when new videos come out, make sure you hit the bell notification icon. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I remain obediently yours. Bye.